Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu, mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services. Discover how to scale your business with YouTube ads in today's session with Ben Jones. And he is the CEO and founder of Titan Network. And what's exciting about him is that he can teach you how to scale your business to 6 or 7 figures through YouTube advertising. And he's Australian. He's passionate about digital marketing, and in the last 7 years, he has helped thousands of businesses scale through online marketing. And he founded Youth in Business Coaching Kits to be financially independent and Titan marketer, specializing in YouTube ads. So the first question is, what's the secret to your success?
Secret to my success, a lot of hard work and failure, I guess is probably a good one. I think secret to success, just success is a fully loaded word. I think you can be successful at many levels. I think just, being willing to risk it, have some hard work, get out there amongst it, and be willing to fail. Like, I think a lot of times failing and getting back up is half the key. So
thank you. And what's the best YouTube script entrepreneurs can use to have success with YouTube ads?
Yeah, great question. I think with YouTube ads at the moment, if you're really wanting to get a good script, there's probably 2 types, like a long form script, which has 4 parts, and a short script, which has probably 2 parts. So a long form script is going to have a hook, an elevator pitch, a story, and a close. And the way that you would step through that is, obviously the hook is, if you think about a YouTube ad, it's the first bit that you're watching and you want to skip within 5 seconds, right? Like, you're like, hey, how do I skip? I want to push the skip button. That's your hook. That is the most important thing that you're going to do in any ad. So make sure you get that good. Call out the audience, have a rhetorical based question where they say the word yes, something along those lines. After that, you'll have like an elevator pitch, which is who you are, a bit of authority, what they're going to learn in the video, give value in the ad. I can't stress that enough. People go to YouTube to learn something or be entertained or educated. And then, of course, close off in the end and have a call to action. That would be about a minute and a half. We actually help people with AI scripts to write that. We have a whole procedure for it. We give it away for free. You can check it out. But you want to actually have a proper scripted ad. The other thing, if you're doing short form ads, so under a minute, obviously you want to shoot the video vertical instead of horizontal for the longer form ones. And in that case, you could probably do problem agitate solution solve, like some of the benefit ads, problem ads. They're a lot shorter. So you might pick, you can do a lot of the shorter form ad content that you might do on Facebook or something like that. But we find what works well is if, let's say you follow the same format of a longer ad, like where it's a hook, elevator pitch, story, close. In the story section, you might only talk about 1 point instead of 3 points, which you might do in a longer video. So you can still do the same format. We like that best, but obviously I would be calling out the audience and teaching or helping in some way is probably the key to the script. So
thank you. Now, I'm pretty sure I've seen on YouTube so many different types of short form and long form. Can you take us through what exact timing do the short form ads have, and what about the long form ones as well?
Sure. So short form ads are usually under a minute. So particularly because they want to pop up in YouTube under the shorts section. So when you're scrolling through the shorts, you obviously get a shorter video up there. Longer form ads, you can still have them that way with like vertical. For those who are listening, for the vertical size. But if you're doing like longer form ads, they're probably going to be a minute and a half to just under 3 minutes. They can go longer, but if you go over 3 minutes, you actually get penalized. So you're going to have a really good engaging ad if it goes longer than 3 minutes. The sweet spot for a longer form ad is going to be around that 2 minute mark, somewhere around there. So.
Thank you. Now, is it possible that I think I've seen very long videos, even 40 minutes. Am I wrong in saying that, or I might be confused?
No, I don't think so. Some people will do a longer video. It depends on the strategy you're going after. So let's say I'm a lead gen. I want to have a coach or a consultant. I want to have more people, buy my stuff or opt in, watch my training, something like that. Or maybe I'm a service-based company and I just want to get more leads to my air conditioning or roofing or building company or whatever it might be, right? Those sorts of ads are traditionally going to have like some sort of call to action. Hey, here's some value, do this thing, right? So they're what we would call conversion-based ads. If you have like a 40-minute ad, usually what you're going after there is more engagement style campaigns. So let's say, for example, this podcast interview might go for 40 minutes. And then what you might do there is you might actually go, well, anyone looking for how to do YouTube ads, I want to grow, Lily, say you want to grow your podcast, for example, you could go to YouTube and go, hey, anyone looking for how to do YouTube ads, I'm going to want them, when they search, I want this to come up. Or if they're watching a video around how YouTube ads work, I want this to come up. And that's where this would come up as a pre-roll ad, and people would either skip it or a discovery ad if they're looking for it in search. And you can come up that way. And that would be a 40-minute ad. Now, particularly on a podcast, you're not necessarily selling anything or asking for a lead or anything like that. You're more wanting people to engage, and you're wanting more people to watch your podcast and for it to grow and all the rest of it. That's where you would do like a 40-minute ad. And the cool thing with that is you can actually get it for about, I'm going to say under a cent in a lot of cases per view. So if you spend, $100, for example, you're going to get at least, 1,000 views in most cases in that thing. So, and for someone just starting their YouTube channel up or wanting to get more branding or an exposure, they might spend $20 or $30 on, say, a video editor to edit a video. But if they spent that on promoting their video, they'd be able to get hundreds of views for the same price. So, yeah, so that's the differences.
Okay, thank you. Now, give me an example of how it would work. Imagine that you're advertising me as a book publisher, okay?
Perfect.
And you want to help me to grow my business with YouTube ads. Let's take the example of a short form ad. Tell us roughly how it would work. You can just invent anything about my experience and so on. But let's say I've published over 30 books. And I've been in business for 7 years, and most books have been bestsellers, and I want to help someone to elevate their brand through publishing a book. Tell us how an ad would sound as an example for the short form.
For a short form ad.
Yeah,
for sure. And what are we promoting? Is it to book
promoting a book program where they can be published by me and become a best-selling author and an iconic brand?
Okay, so when they click, are they going to a landing page? What's the call to action on the landing page? Is it
to book a call with me?
Okay, book a call. Perfect. We actually work with a few coaches in this space, so this should be pretty easy, and some bigger brands as well. So I guess being published and becoming an authority is sort of the big one. So you might be like, do you work with authors to get them published, or are they already authors that want to spend more money and grow?
So to get them published, and then from there to give them opportunities to promote themselves, to give them exposure like media features and to speak at events. So people that are not yet published, that's my market.
Cool. So you might say something like, would you like to have a book that makes sales before it's written, for example? Might be a hook that people will be like, oh, that sounds cool. I want to write a book. How does that work? And you could say, hey, I'm Lily. I've helped, 30 or 50 publishers or whatever become best-selling authors. I'm a best-selling author myself. I specialize in showing brands just like you how you can get more media, grow your book, make sales before you've written it, something along those lines. If that sounds like something that you're interested in and you'd like to have a chat with me or whatever, you probably say, if that's something that you're interested in, because we're running out of time here on a short format, click the link below. I'm going to be happy to help you get your book published, whatever it is, or become famous before it's written, or make sales before it's written, or whatever the thing is that your hook for that audience might be. So that would be a short form video ad. An example of a long form video ad might follow the same thing. Would you like to become a famous published author? Would you like to be famous and write a book, or whatever it is they want? Would you like to get on more stages? Whatever the hook is, right? Then the elevator pitch there is going to be, hey, I'm Lily. I've helped hundreds of people, have awesome results. I've published books, I've done these things, and I want to help you too. In this video, I'm going to show you three ways where you can become a published author and, become famous or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You would share 3 secrets or whatever it is. And at the end, you'd be like, so if that sounds interesting to you and you'd like to become a published author within 3 months without all the hassle or whatever the thing is, then click on the link and I look forward to talking to you on the site. So you normally say, click on the link. I look forward to seeing on a page that looks like this. You show them what the page looks like, and you go from there. But that's sort of two like a short form ad and a longer form ad. And I think what you need to work out is like, what is your hook and your messaging and your point of difference? Like, have them in there in both parts, and script some ads out and get them shot. So.
Thank you so much. Now, my question is, because I've tried before Facebook advertising, and I found that it was easy to get leads. Okay, it was very easy. The issue I had was that I was getting a lot of unqualified leads. What I mean by that is people who were so keen to have everything I was offering, but they didn't have the money. So my question is, how can you ensure that you target the right people that have the money and are not like just time wasters? Is there any way to target people that have particular interests and are buyers of something? Is there any way to target like that, or what do you suggest in order to find qualified leads with money?
And that is the big question, right? Because there's nothing more frustrating than Facebook leads, having lots of leads that don't turn into sales. So I can relate to that. Look. Yes, YouTube's targeting is way better than Facebook. If you were to put them in a room, be Godzilla versus Bambi, and Facebook is not the Bambi in this equation. So the cool thing that you can do with YouTube ads is basically target people. We call it our credit card out targeting. So be able to target someone who has enough money, they're genuinely interested, have enough money when they're looking to buy, when they have intent, when they're taking intent actions. So what does that look like? Well, basically, just being able to target people based on income is a big thing. So in your case, if you're looking for people who want to publish a book, and you could pick the top 20 or 30% of income earners instead of just everyone, would that make a massive difference to just be getting the right leads in, right? Because the biggest thing that people get is when they're running ads is we've got people, but they're just not ready to buy. And that takes that, they just don't have enough money. They can't afford it. So that just takes that whole objection away, because you're only targeting people who are in the top income bracket or the top 20 or 30% in this particular suburb or this particular area, right? So that's a cool way of doing it. So right away, your leads are already better. If you just did that income targeting with YouTube ads, that would totally revolutionize your lead flow to sale. The next side of it is, well, that's really cool, but how do we get people who are like ready to buy right now? And inside of Google, it knows where you're going, what you're doing, what websites you're visiting, all that stuff. So you're able to target people who are looking to, how do I become a publisher, or how do I write a book, or any of those search type keywords based on, do they have enough money? Then they see your video. I mean, there's lots of other options, but just that's going to give you a way more qualified lead. Does that make sense, Lily?
Yes.
So
my question is, like, how do you do it? Is there a selection inside YouTube ads where you can take the top 20% income earners, or people who are earning at least 400K per year or something like that? Is there anything like that? And my second question is, for example, there are certain people that I know, let's say that people that are buying really expensive furniture for their house, they are typically the kind of people that could afford my book program as well. So if they could, is there any sort of targeting that allows me to target those people that visit particular websites that I can also target with YouTube ads? I think in Google it's possible to do that, as far as I know, but in YouTube, is it possible as well?
Yeah, definitely. So let me answer both of those. So the first one, so the first question, so the second one was about, can we target people who visit website? What was the first question again? Just refresh.
The first one was, is there any tick box inside YouTube ads where we can target the top 20% income earners, or, for example, people who are earning over 400K per year?
Yeah, 100%. So inside of the Google Ads platform, which Google Ads, YouTube is a part of the Google Ads platform, right? So if I'm saying Google Ads, YouTube Ads lives inside it. Okay. Now, just like Instagram ads live inside Facebook ads. So So for example, YouTube ads is inside of Google ads, and inside of there, you can actually select top 10, basically by 10% bracket. So top 10% of income earners, top 20% of income earners, top 30%, top 40%, under 50%, So if you have any sort of premium product where, you're an expensive brand, or you're trying to sell something over $500 or $1,000, you really want to be in that top 30% of income earners, because a lot of the population, unfortunately, live paycheck to paycheck, right? So they might really love your stuff, but just can't afford it. So you can just go in there and for any high ticket, by the way, anyone who's listening to this, anyone who's doing any high ticket, any coaching service, anything that's selling something over 5 or 10K, like that, you basically have to live in that top 30% income earners. So so yes, there is, and you just select it when you're building your campaigns and you're good to go. The second question was, can we target people based on what websites they visit, I believe. So, and yes, you most definitely can. So the targeting that you have in Google ads obviously is in YouTube ads as well. So what's really fun to do is actually target your competitors. So let's say that there's other people and they're looking at other coaches, and they're looking at other, coaches and things like that around how to do books. Basically pick any of your competitors' landing pages, copy, paste it straight into the back of Google ads, and you can basically target anyone who's visiting your competitors' URLs and then send them straight to your website or funnel, which is really cool. That's like my favorite thing to do. And a fun fact on that is we actually went through, so I was speaking last year at Social Media Marketing World in the US, and we actually worked out before we went there, what is the top, if we had to work out of all the different targeting options, which had the most profit, which was the most profitable one, that was actually it, was stealing your competitors' traffic. It was better than keywords. It was better than all the other things, because it's just so targeted. And the other cool thing you can do with that is you can actually target softwares that people use, right? So if in your case, you might target people like businesses or coaches who already have CRMs like HubSpot or Salesforce, or, something where to have that sort of CRM, you're going to have 5 staff or 10 staff or 100 staff or something, right? And that can work really well. So people who have this CRM, who want to write a book, who are in this income bracket, who are maybe searching for this stuff, show them my ad, right? So
yeah, makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I've never seen, because I've done Google ads before, but I've never seen this option of targeting the top 30% income earners. It must be in a secret function that I haven't seen yet.
It's in there. You can, yeah, for sure. So
okay.
Just find it, click it. It'll make a big difference. So
okay. And what are the top ways for entrepreneurs to kind of get success with YouTube ads?
Yeah, look, just start. I think that's the main thing. If you're already running Facebook ads, YouTube ads is going to be amazing for you. So, and if you're not running any ads yet, I would start with YouTube ads, obviously. Now we spend money on all the different platforms. The cool thing with YouTube ads is not everyone's there yet. And I think it's a massive opportunity. It's the same size as Facebook with not even a quarter of the ad budget spent on it. So it's just a massive blue ocean of opportunity. And I think the other thing that we need to look at with YouTube ads is how you're charged makes a big difference. So on Facebook, you're charged basically by impression, or best case, 15 seconds, right? You can be charged in YouTube cost per view of 30 seconds. So the first 30 seconds is free before you're charged. Now that's a big deal, because you can actually say a lot in 30 seconds. And if they skip, it costs you $0, right? So it's, that's a big difference in terms of what you're charged for and how the math works in the back end. So
thank you. Yeah. And which of the options do you have to select in order to go for this this kind of targeting where the first 30 seconds are free?
So most pre-roll ads that you're going to run, particularly any conversion campaigns, they're going to be, that's the way that they work, right? So pretty much most of the ads where you're waiting to skip the first 5 seconds of, the first 30 seconds of that ad, the advertiser is free. So now, let's say, for example, that I click before the 30 seconds, then you're charged. So you are charged if you click. And the other thing I normally get when I'm speaking about this from stage is, well, that's cool. I'm just going to make 20-second ads, right? because then it'll be free. But if the video ends, then of course you get charged as well. So if it ends, if they click or if they watch over 30 seconds.
Okay. So then what is the optimum time that the pre-roll ad should be to ensure that to ensure conversion? Because of course you don't want people to be clicking okay, what I mean is that, when people click, at least they're potentially interested, or they're your competitors trying to ruin your budget, or they're not interested, and then you need to leave them a bit of time for them to have time to actually skip, so you don't get charged. So what do you suggest is the optimum time?
Yeah. So for the longer form ads, that 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes is about the sweet spot. If you're just testing some new ads, right? Like that, if you're going there to start, that's a great place to play. If you're doing shorter ads, obviously under a minute. So usually we'd say 50 seconds. And another key point is to have like at least a 5-second end screen. So at the end of the ad, you have basically a blank screen with an arrow for people to click. I mean, if you just add the end screen at the end of an ad, your conversion rate is going to go by at least 20%. Okay, because even as I'm talking right now, your brain is processing it about a second or two behind what I'm saying, right? So if you just watched an ad and it just ends and I go back to my regular viewing, you're like, oh yeah, that was a cool ad. But if it ends and you've probably seen the ad where they pop up and there's like some arrows saying click here and just a static image, that will increase your conversion rate. So just to recap on the answer, under a minute, you want about 55 seconds with a 5-second end screen. If you're doing longer form video ads, probably 1.5 to 2.5 minutes, somewhere around that 2-minute mark, with probably a 5-10 second end screen as well. So,
thank you. And what elements should entrepreneurs have in order to increase conversion?
Great question. So to increase conversion, targeting is probably the first thing you want to play with, like know exactly who you want to target. So if we know this is the person, so we want to target an author or a would-be author that wants to have a book and speak on stages. We know who that is. Then we can create some targeting around that person. Where are they going? What websites are they visiting? What are they searching? All of that stuff. Then we obviously want to create really good custom messaging to that person. So that person's messaging may be some of the following that we discussed before. Do you want to speak on more stages? Do you want to have a book that can help you become famous or get you in the media or whatever the thing is, right? So starting out, like a good hook I do like is call out the person and what they want to do, and with something they want, or a rhetorical question with the word yes. And it sounds funny, but I forget who said it, but like 80% of your marketing budget happens in your headline, right? If you're creating a landing page or any copy, 80% marketing budget happens in the first 5 seconds in a YouTube ad. Okay, so you really want to make sure that you get that right. So calling them out at the beginning is going to be, and having like a rhetorical or a base question or something like that is really what you want to be looking for there. So.
Thank you. Is it a good idea to run several ads where you're calling out different markets? So let's say if my market is, one of them is, let's say, property investors, another one, let's say, angel investors, another one, coaches, and so on. Is it a good idea to do something with different headlines so that the individual person feels like it's for them?
Yeah, look, it never hurts to have individual headlines and or landing pages for every single thing, right? Including ads. The campaigns would be different too. So you'd have, let's say that we were going after, I don't know, coaches and property investors. Okay. They're a little bit similar, but they hang out in different places. So we would probably have one ad that called out, hey, are you a property investor that wants to write a book? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Are you a coach that wants to speak on stages? Totally different. Okay. So the ad would be different for the targeting, and also the targeting of the campaigns would be different. And if you wanted to go one step further, having them land on a landing page that calls out to them would be even better again. But not everyone does that last step. But yeah, you definitely separate ads, separate targeting, and separate messaging at a minimum. So.
Thank you. Is there anything like a domino effect that will make a massive difference to absolutely everything in terms of the YouTube ads?
The big one thing. What is the big one thing? So I think the big domino to YouTube ads is being okay testing multiple creative. That makes a big difference. So if I have 2 ads and I test 2 ads versus I test 10 ads, if you have that 80-20 principle, you're going to get a heaps better ad. And the difference between like a good ad and a great ad will be half the cost, right? So let's say you create 3 YouTube ads and you're like, I tried 3 ads and they didn't work. Well, you might need to try at least 5 because 1 out of, there's your 20% there. If you tried 10, you definitely get 1 or 2 that are going to be great. So, and I think that's a big mistake that we see, that one. And probably people coming in and trying to run campaigns in YouTube the same as Facebook. It's a completely different platform. The targeting is different. The way it works is different. Unless you're running demand gen campaigns, which are pretty similar, just be mindful that you can't run salesy, interruptive ads inside of YouTube. You need to have some sort of benefit helping. It's just a different platform, the way it works. So yeah, there are probably a couple of things. I know you asked for 1 and I gave you like 3, but yeah, that's some of the things we see.
Thank you. And after, let's say, the person opts in, do you recommend taking them onto a short VSL, like a 15-minute webinar or 15-minute, video sales letter? Or do you recommend that they go directly onto a call, or it depends on every product or service that you're offering?
Well, let's take those 2 because those 2 are a really good strategy. And I think they're probably 2 strategies that you use together. Particularly for coaches and consultants or any sort of lead gen where there's a sales call, this can work really well. So running an ad straight to a sales call like the one we did before, hey, do you want this? Jump on a call. That's great. In terms of opt-in, what we're finding really cool with the opt-in things is, let's say, yours was how to write a bestseller in 6 months. I don't know, just a headline that jumps to mind, right? So let's say that you did that one. And then it was like a free 10-minute training or something like that. So it'd be opt-in, free training. Now, inside that 10-minute video, we'd probably do 10 minutes if you're going to do a VSL, or less. And you probably want 8 minutes of like fully helping them in some way. Like that video has to like actually help people. That might sound surprising. It's not about you and how great you are and all that stuff. It's like, hey, here's the things you need, right? Help them. And then at the end of that, you might say, hey, if that was of value to you, you want to take the next step, book a call below, and then down below you have a book a call. Now, what we're finding is anyone who just goes straight through that opt-in process to a 10-minute VSL, if you will, with a book a call to action at the bottom, about, I'm going to say, depending on the industry, somewhere about 20% of people, 20 to 30% of people will book that call after watching the video, right? So, and that's a big deal because you can get a lead. Let's say you can get a lead for $20. You might get a book call for $80 or something like that. But you can get 3 leads that you can ring for the similar price of the book call, right? And it just makes it much cheaper. So, and you can remarket to the people who opted in for the book a call and the people who didn't book a call for the opt-in. So those 2, like an opt-in with a 10-minute VSL and a straight book a call funnel with 2 different marketing campaigns that remarket to each other, they work really nicely together. We got heaps of coaches and consultants like crushing at doing that with sales teams and the whole thing. If you want to run webinars and virtual events and challenges and all that other stuff, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, those 2 strategies, will work really well. So.
Thank you. And do you find that going directly to the call, does it work better versus taking them onto the mini VSL letter of 10-15 minutes? Which one of the 2 works better in terms of actually closing at the end?
Well, that's a hard one because normally people who book a call have usually seen your ads a couple of times before, or at least know who you are. So the opt-in is quite good because it's a bit further down the funnel, if you will. So I personally like people who have watched the training then book a call because they close better in most cases, right? And this also depends on how well your lead's nurtured. Like a lot of people who opt in, basically, like even for a call, we usually send them the training before they get to the call. So it's key that they watch that 10-minute video, whatever the process might be along the way. But yeah, the difference is in the lead cost. So the lead cost, let's say a lead cost is $100. A book a call, like an opt-in with a 10-minute thing might be like 20, or like it's a vastly different. It's about 4 times cheaper to get the lead. And what we find works best is if you get the lead and someone rings them that day or within an hour of them opting in. If you've got a setter that can ring the lead straight away, if they haven't watched the video, be like, hey, we watched the video, like that just that one little thing there, like that increases conversion massively. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's what we're finding.
Yeah, it's actually very, very, very good. And how does Titan Marketer, which is your company, how does it help businesses grow and scale with YouTube ads?
Sure. So we're completely hands off. We used to do a lot of consulting and training. At the beginning of the year, we actually switched to just a full done for you service. And we don't have any signups or anything like that. You've got to apply. So you apply to work with us. We actually want to run your business through a calculator, which is really important to make sure it's profitable before you start. And then if it is going to be profitable and we're happy to work with you and you're happy to work with us, then we can talk about how we might work together and so on. But that's usually how we work. We don't take everyone who applies. We do enjoy helping people. We have a ridiculous retention rate. Anyone who stays with us for more than 2 months stays with us for well over 12 months. And most of them stay forever. So yeah, so we're pretty happy with that. Our retention rates are fantastic because we don't take everyone, and we do make sure it works before people start. So yeah.
Thank you so much for this these amazing insights in this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.